Welcome to Wagoners Wells. You're about an hour out of London here. We're southwest of London. As I say, only an hour by train, an hour by car, yet you really are out in beautiful countryside. I've found an area where there's a little bit of foreground interest, a little bit of reflection in the pools, which are really quite tranquil this morning, and some nice trees with the morning light just coming across them every so often. It's not the most exciting of shots, but with the sun on the trees, it really lifts the textures of them in the winter, just the branches without any leaves on. So while we're waiting for the sun to just come out and bathe those trees in a bit of early morning sunlight, I thought I'd just give a few thoughts on my first week on YouTube. So what have I learnt in 1 week on YouTube? Well, I think there's three things I'm going to share with you today, just to keep it simple. Number one, planning is everything. As a consumer of YouTube, I've watched many hours of different videos, and one thing I probably took for granted is that a lot of the content creators make it look so easy. But what you forget is that they have probably been working on their style and the content and their approach for probably many years now, and have put in many tens of thousands of hours into what they create and what looks very polished. For me, there are three components that you need to think about when you're planning: the content, the style, and the techniques you're going to use. Let's look at content first. The most important thing is to really understand your audience, to know what they're looking for out of the videos you're producing, and then to think about what's the focus of the video. Are you looking to educate? Are you looking to inform? Or are you looking to entertain people? When it comes to style, we take it for granted that a lot of the content providers today, or content producers today, have got some quite distinctive styles. Not everyone is an entertainer, and it's important to be yourself on YouTube. There's no point in trying to be something you're not, because it takes away from the effort you're putting into the content, which has to be primarily what you're producing. Finally, technique. There's no two ways. Trying to create a YouTube channel single-handedly is no mean feat. You're a one-man band, certainly in your early days, so you are sound engineer, cameraman, lighting engineer, photographer, videographer, producer, director, the list goes on. So you're going to have to learn some new skills, and learn them pretty quick, and bring them together in combination. One of the great things I'm finding is that actually it's pushing me to look at different techniques, to push the envelope in what I do. So, you know, think about A-roll, B-roll, time lapses, drone photography. Then you've got the editing, the rendering, the uploading, all have technical challenges that you have to get to grips with and understand. Because whilst a lot of these packages, these channels, YouTube for example, make it easy, it's still really important from my perspective to understand the technical background to some of these things. It pushes your technical competency in a way that gives you purpose for doing it. The second thing I've learned in my week on YouTube is that it's time consuming. I've been used to taking stills where I can take the image, I can edit it, and I can upload it in minutes, certainly under an hour. When it comes to video, it's more time consuming. This is something that takes hours to do. My first three videos never even made it out of the cutting room. They're on the floor in the cutting room still. The fourth video is still in production, although it may end up on the cutting room floor. Then the first video I published was, 10 minutes? However, it probably took me a day to film, edit, upload, and so on. With my fourth video, I managed to get that down to about 4 hours, where it was about an hour to shoot 10 minutes worth of footage, an hour to edit it, an hour to render, and then an hour to upload. And what you take for granted is that actually you probably need to watch your video 3 times during the production process to check the quality of the outputs at different phases. There's no two ways I'm getting quicker. As I understand more and more, my skills come up, it's becoming quicker. I still have some challenges. You know, I've been posting my videos at 4K, however a lot of people are doing 1080p. I'll perhaps do a video on why I chose to do 4K. However, there is a bit of a storage penalty with that, a time penalty. So for example, it takes probably about 50 minutes to an hour to render my videos. I'm doing it in 2-pass VBR, which again doubles the time. So I've got a lot of trade-offs I could make to make the process quicker. The flip side of all this though is it may be time consuming, but the way I look at it is that I'm learning new skills, and that does take time. It's really important to approach this of not only what can you put into YouTube, but also what are you getting out of it. It's an investment. The final thing I've learnt in my week on YouTube is that YouTube is a great way to share and learn. It's important to both understand that you're going to get something out of this in terms of new skills, but it's equally as important, as I said earlier, that you really think about what's the audience going to get. It's a two-way trade here. As with any new skill, any new talent you're trying to create, it's really important to hit it with speed, pace and resilience. There's an S-curve of time versus knowledge or learning, and in the early days you have to put a lot of effort in. There are a lot of setbacks. It's a real challenge before you start to see that knowledge growing. And I feel my first week, I've posted a number of videos, probably at a pace that is higher than I will do in the longer term, but it was really important for me to do that, to really get my skills up and start to really benefit from some of the learning in terms of efficiencies and understanding. In all, it's been a great week on YouTube. I've learned a lot. Hopefully I've created some videos, some content that people are liking. You start to see people comment on your videos, and that's really great. So if you've got any comments, if you're starting out on your YouTube journey and you've got any comments, leave them below and we'll start to get a bit of a discussion, a dialogue going around it. It's been great to interact with a number of you over my first week, and I hope that will grow. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we can go perhaps in the first month next.